What's going on, good people? Welcome to the Fantastic Forum One Shot, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 3 special. We've been bringing you recaps of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episodes week to week. This is the one for Episode 3, as I already mentioned. You got Jay here.
Hey, what's up?
You got Oz.
Hey, first time, long time.
And as for myself, I'm Mayor Young. So, yeah, let's get into it, folks. Episode 3, generally speaking, Jay, how did you feel about Episode 3?
Oh, I loved Episode 3. Dude, it was so good. Like, so much cool things happened. Well, okay, one really cool thing happened that I liked.
Only one little really cool thing, but it was a great one, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, two things were great. Like, one of the songs they played I hadn't heard before, and it was really good.
So such a Jay thing. He's like, man, this great thing happened. They played this song I've never heard before. But if you understand how eclectic Jay's tastes are, when he hears a song he's never heard before, he's like, when did this come out? Like yesterday? You know, Jay hears most music.
It's it's a song that was before my time. So
But you have access to the internet. You've heard all the songs that have ever existed up until this point.
You would think so, but no. Most of the music I hear, it just comes to me organically. Mm-hmm. And this is one that had not come around to me yet.
But it should have. But you felt it should have.
I don't feel that it should have. I'm just glad that it did.
Gotcha.
Like, now I have another point on my musical kaleidoscope.
Oh, smack.
Wait, do kaleidoscopes have points?
I mean, kaleidoscopes have plenty of points.
Oh, good.
A kaleidoscope is like a stained glass window that gets shattered, like somebody threw a rock through it. Don't ask me how I know that. What song was it, Jay?
Coming Home Baby, like I'm Coming Home Baby, or something like that. Like, it's I added it to my music.
Okay.
So I do that so I don't have to remember the name offhand.
That I do understand.
To songs that, like my last added.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the song that was playing when they busted into the guy's lab.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
like that song was like, that was like really good. So, I found out what it was. I watched the credits to see the song title.
I'm surprised someone like you doesn't have Shazam.
I do, but I'm out of circulation right now, so I kind of forgot it existed. There used to be like a common thing. Like, I would be out in the world, a song would come on, Shazam, but that hasn't happened in over a year.
Gotcha.
Because of this whole bullshit.
Because who goes out into the world anymore, right?
Right.
Just you once, barely, like last week. And we'll come back to you, Jay, because I want to know what the bigger thing was. But hold on to that thought. Oz, how did you feel generally about Episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
It was good to see Baron Zemo be Baron Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little tired, though, of my Instagram full of the 3 seconds of him dancing, like doing the fist pump thing.
Of Baron Zemo?
Yeah. When they go to the club, it's that's how quick it is. You probably forgot it, but it's all over my Instagram. It's him like doing some kind of like a updated Night at the Roxbury.
Gotcha. I see. I feel like this speaks more to the quality of the people you follow than anything else. Like, I don't even know what we're talking about here. I'm like, I got to go watch this joint again so I can figure out or actually what I'll do is I'll just go to your feed.
You could probably just Google Baron Zemo dancing.
Okay.
Like, I know the scene you're talking about. Like, when you say it, like, I know that scene. I just don't know why other people care about it.
I think the thing is people are surprised that they're rooting for Baron Zemo and against Captain America.
Yeah.
At this point.
There it is.
I think that's what's got people's heads like all twisted.
It's Mephisto. So
actually, you know what? With that fist pump, that they're telling you that he's connected to Mephisto.
Mephisto pump.
Wait, but they're still rooting for him after The cold-blooded murder?
Who, Baron Zemo?
Yeah.
Well, he killed a bad dude. I mean, the guy was experimenting on people.
Still cold-blooded murder.
It's Punisher level cold-blooded murder.
Hilarity. Wait, so let me ask this question. Is the dance in question that you're talking about, is it like a deleted scene, or it actually was in the show, but just
Did you not watch the Well, yeah, says it's a small scene, but yeah, they were all in the nightclub, and I think Uptown, the party that Sharon is throwing, and Zemo dances.
It's a small scene, but it stands out because it's so awkward.
Okay, I believe it. I have to go watch it again. I don't recall being like, oh my god, look at that dance. I mean, he's not Elaine Bennis, you know what I'm saying? It's like
he's pretty close though.
He's pretty close. Okay, got it. Okay. Look, this
I didn't see what he was doing with his feet. He might have been kicking him out too. The top half had that look.
That's funny, man. That is fair. So, okay, cool. I know for me, I thought it was a great episode as well. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's definitely picking up steam, which, it did that from episode 1 to 2. I felt like it did it again from 2 to 3. But of course, I mean, for me, being the X-Men fan that I am, when they're like, oh, we're going to Madripoor, I was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? That feels like, it feels good to just know that. There was no doubt in my mind that Madripoor existed in the MCU, but it was just one of those things like to actually like get to go, and it looked like how it looked like Madripoor. Don't get me wrong, there was some parts of it that were like, I mean, you got Hightown, you got Lowtown, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Hightown was a little bit maybe higher than I would have thought, but at the same time, I'm thinking about it from like, I think when I think about Madripoor in my head, often the image I have is from like 90s X-Men comics, because half the time you're there with Wolverine doing his patch thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
I just want to get this straight. You're saying that this show is introducing the X-Men by the end of it.
All right, look, confirmed.
And that it will be Mephisto who brings them in to the MCU as predicted by the fist motion in the scene.
Mephisto, Scarlet Witch, Love Child, all the X-Men, all the mutants are all their children, their progeny, conceived and birthed in Madripoor.
You heard it here, guys. Power Broker is really Mephisto.
Done. Jay.
But I wanted to ask you, when they brought up Madripoor, like whenever I think of Madripoor, I think of the fact that Mystique bought it. In the comics, does she still own Madripoor?
No. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, currently the new Hellfire Club, which changed their name. I can't remember the name of it, but you remember how there's the Hellfire Club that are the kids?
Mm-hmm.
That group changed their name. And those are the people that pretty much are like buying up and own Madripoor for all intents and purposes.
Okay, so what happened to Mystique? Did she just give it up, or
I don't
purchase it from her?
I don't remember off the top. I don't feel like someone bought it off of her. I feel like maybe something happened to her, so she was gone for a while, and then maybe, somebody probably assumed she was dead or something like that. I mean, but at the same time, like, who knows at Madripoor, right? I mean, we're talking about like Madripoor, like it obeys laws. You know what I mean? Like, like somebody might just decide, I own Madripoor now, and if nobody's there to stop them, guess what happens? They own Madripoor now.
Yeah, I mean that too is like Mystique threw down like a lot of cash.
Yeah,
I bought it from, I believe, Hydra.
Maybe I know what you're talking about, but I don't have like that's definitely not at the front of my memory, so I don't know.
Right, like she bought it from Hydra. She was like running like bank jobs for a while in order to get the cash to get all of Hydra to abandon it and give it to her.
Yeah, see, that's not like that's not really a purchase. Like she doesn't have a deed or anything. She's just paying off the other group to leave so she can run it. So yeah, like Lauren said, if she's gone for any amount of time, which by the time they're settling in Krakoa, that's enough time for somebody else to just come into power and take it over.
Right. Yeah. But I think that's part of it. Is like for all that effort, like what happened to her to like put her out of the picture?
Yeah,
I'm wondering.
Yeah, so that might be something to look into. But
let me ask you guys. Sharon Carter, she killed that chick, right? Or was that like somebody else? You think?
He what?
She killed that mob lady, right? That puts the bounty on their heads in Madripoor.
I believe she did.
Oh, you're talking about like, oh yeah, because yeah, like that was when that was before in the scene when we weren't sure who was doing all this stuff. But yeah,
they never tell us it was her, and she seems a little like surprised that there's a price on their head. I don't know. It's just the way she interacted with them. I got the feeling like she's like, I don't know why you guys went ahead and killed that chick, but now there's a price on your head. Let's get away. When
she was the guardian.
I thought I just don't think they showed us that it was her, or I think it's more implied that it was her than actually straight like flat out. We didn't see her with a gun, or coming out with like putting away a rifle, and it could have been Mephisto for all we know.
It was definitely Mephisto, Scarlet Witch, love child.
Well, actually, that would be Magneto, right? Because he just does that with the bullet. But yeah,
if it wasn't Sharon, who would have done it?
That's my question. That's why I'm saying it's implied that it was her, and all likelihood it was probably her, and that's why she was there.
Yeah,
but we never see her with the rifle, so I think it could have been someone else. I don't know. We don't know what Sharon Carter's really involved with right now, other than selling art.
I will say that Sharon Carter's involvement in this whole thing is actually a pretty interesting character moment, not only for her, but even like what it kind of says about Falcon. I mean, even Cap, like Steve Rogers, Captain America, because it's like, it didn't occur to me like, oh, but what about Sharon? You know what I mean? Like that was not a thought on my head. So when she shows up and she's like, hey, I've been on the run this whole time. And I'm like, damn, that's true. Like, like she sure did. Like, like when she's like, hey, they didn't try to give me a pardon. I can't go back home. I haven't spoken to my family. And I'm like, what was Cap doing? How come Cap didn't like try to find Sharon and be like, hey, she needs a pardon too? Or, I mean, don't get me wrong, I know there was a lot going on, like half the population disappeared. And I guess you could say maybe he thought that she had disappeared too. But the idea that he didn't even like confirm it or check, it's like,
yeah, there's 5 years. There's a 5-year gap between Infinity War and Endgame where you're pardoned because Captain America is doing grief counseling for people. So he could have looked her up at that point.
Yeah, and I'm saying like he didn't do it. Black Widow didn't do it. Like, I can't fault Falcon for that time because he didn't exist. But when he came back, she was like, how come you didn't look your girl up and be like, hey, come in from the cold? And I'm like, dang, and because of all that time she spent, it's like, dang, she's like super hardened. Like, I would remember watching this joint and like sitting here like, she's like, okay, people are coming, like time's up. And I'm like, man, are one of them going to go out there to go help her? And it's like, oh, she don't need no help. She's good. And then it was like, okay, she needs some help now. So hopefully somebody will come out. But I'm like, man, you're not even trying to go out to help her. I'm like, there are 2 of you. It's like, you know what I'm saying? If Bucky can't handle Baron Zemo and a scientist, then that's not Bucky. Or if Falcon can't do it, one of those dudes could have came outside is what I'm saying. So Sharon don't have to mess around and do all the heavy lifting out here on her own. That was messed up.
Obviously, people forget about it. I understand though. It would have been awkward because wasn't like Captain America trying to bone her like right before everything went down with Hydra?
I mean, it seemed as though he might potentially be entertaining the idea, but then at the same time, I don't like. What did he know who she was at that point?
I think she knew she was related to, his one true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when he found out who she was as an agent, I think is when he got the full name and realized that there's a relation there.
Right. Because I feel like he didn't, like, that was when she was still Agent 13, right? He didn't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's like, yeah, she got done dirty. And like, it was done in such a way that even I felt bad about myself. I was like, oh, how come I didn't even think about sharing? But, you know, like I couldn't have done anything about it, but I felt bad. I was like, oh, geez, man. So, what do y'all think of that opening with the Baron Zemo breakout with him and Bucky?
That was good.
It was a standard breakout. I like the fact that as he's explaining the plan, like it already happened. Like he already that I thought was a great way to do it. The escape itself is kind of your standard escape movie thing.
That's exactly how Oz would have done it if he was in a maximum security prison. I agree. You're right.
Sure. If I had a super soldier and an Avenger on the outside, yeah, that's probably how I would do it.
I was out here like, you're basic.
More interesting than the breakout was Captain America's breakdown.
Oh yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, which
it's the cracks.
Exactly. Like him getting like that little bit of that edge kind of thing that, you know, like what the part that U.S. agents notorious for, you know what I'm saying? Like this fool, but it was so funny because when this fool was like, "Don't you know who I am?" and I'm like, "Oh, dude, like you don't know how much of a dick you sound when you say that." Like, you're supposed to be Captain America. It's like you can't. If you're Captain America, you don't say, "Don't you know who I am?"
You don't walk around with that shield and nobody knows who you are.
It's just like, ugh. It's ugh.
Do you guys think he's got the serum in him? He's a super soldier?
No, he's definitely not a super soldier. He's, but I think they did a good job of establishing that he's basically like peak human in, you know, episode 2, where they're like, you know, hey, he's no slouch. Like he's the best, or he's about as good as a human being can be. So it's like when he does something that's like, whoa, that's like, you know, a little bit more, like when you look at it, you're like, wow, that's pretty amazing. You're like, okay, well, yeah, but he's like the best human being physically.
Okay. So, if he's not
emotionally, not so much.
If he's not super soldier now, which I actually think he is. I think he already got the stuff from the pawnbroker, and he's got an inferior version. That's why he's roid raging now. But that's just me.
Okay.
If he's not super soldier, which he might not be yet. I mean, do you think he will take the serum at some point?
That's a good question.
Full on villain.
That's a good question. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
I think it's a little more likely that he'll be like kidnapped by AIM and they'll enhance him.
Kidnapped by AIM?
Yeah, remember the yellow on the flight on the jumpsuits? Like, I still think they're involved.
Jay, I'm so mad at you for these. Jay has his cockamamie theories. But yeah, okay, that's fair. So kidnapped by AIM, super soldiered by them. Got it.
I mean, they stole what, like 20 something vials of it, and only used like 7 or 8 of them. So there's a good stash there.
But see, and then that goes.
I'm talking about the flag smashers, not AIM. Obviously.
Right? No. I know you're talking about the flag smashers. That's what I was just about to say. Was that, you know, it was interesting too, because almost in a similar way as how Jay was talking about. Oh, I'm sorry. Or no, that was you, Jay, that said you starting to see the cracks in John Walker's Captain America.
Right.
He
was hallucinating? Like, that was awesome.
Okay. Okay. I was gonna say we're starting to see the escalation and the breakup of the flag smashers too. You know, like with basically choosing or the leader choosing to like blow that building up with people in it, and you know, it's she did her partner pretty dirty right there too. Where it's like, hey, put your seatbelt on, and he's like, hey, we haven't even pulled off yet. I'm about to do it. You know, she's like, right now, goddamn. And it's like, he's like, what do you? You know, it's like, tell the man that you're about to blow up the building. It's crazy to me too, the idea that she's like, well, you put your seatbelt on, which he needs a seatbelt if he's going to drive, but maybe you might want to tell him, like, hey, just drive. Like, go, because it's about to blow. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll be much safer further away with no seatbelt than he will be with his seatbelt on in the car or whatever. You know?
Well, you got to remember, she wants to be a teacher. So, the violence is... Teachers get violent. Like, they've been violent for a while.
Is this the takeaway? Teachers are violent?
Well, I think it's one of them, yeah.
Got it. That's fair. I'm not like learning lessons from Fantastic Four in one shot.
Well, a great man once said, "I love peace. I cherish it with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I have to kill to get it."
Like, you see how Oz somehow managed to worm some DC stuff into this amazing Marvel stuff? No, you see how he did that? I'm not mad at him. But yeah. And so I think Oz, we definitely should go back to what you were saying, where it was good to see Zemo being Zemo, which I felt like they did a good job of showing that Zemo can handle himself, but without him, doing too much. Like, because I was a little worried, because when I saw him with the mask, I'm like, okay, he's getting ready to put the mask on, which is cool. I have no problem with that. Like, I want to see him in the mask. It wouldn't have hurt if we got like I don't need a full on Oz backstory of the mask, flashbacks like that. I don't need that. But at the same time, it's like, why it was important to him, or why he felt the need to make sure he grabbed it and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't have been mad at that, but I'm sure that will come sometime later. There's like, we don't have time for it now. So I was like, okay, cool.
The way he treated that mask, his pants got tighter. At that moment. Like, just but more about Zemo being Zemo, I guess, kind of tangenting a little bit. Mm-hmm. Did it bother you guys how easily they got into Madripoor? I mean, I understand they had what was Falcon supposed to be? Smiling Tiger, and he looks like him. At least that picture that they had. Mm-hmm. But I thought at this point we all knew that not only was Bucky pardoned, but I thought even in that museum that they showed in the first episode, don't they talk about how Bucky and Captain America, like, I'm not reaffirm their friendship, or however you want to say it. They should know that Bucky's not the Winter Soldier anymore.
Actually, Bucky being pardoned isn't like general knowledge.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And you could definitely see it not reaching Madripoor yet. And as far as the news goes, the Winter Soldier killed the King of Wakanda. So for them to think that he's still in operation makes sense.
Which actually brings me up to the second point. He still wanted in Wakanda, and that comes up, which I thought was a great addition, because up until now, he's kind of just been walking around like the only person punishing him is himself.
You're talking about
Bucky,
the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
No, the Winter Soldier's not wanted in Wakanda. Like, the Wakandans are good with him.
Wait, do we not? Oh, I'm sorry, that was Zemo. You're right.
Yeah, it's for Zemo.
Yeah, sorry.
Exactly.
There's the whole group in Madripoor just kind of walking around and partying.
Yeah. See,
no, you're right. It was Zemo. You're right.
Yeah, and that's why I felt like it was okay that they got into Madripoor the way they did, simply because Zemo obviously has his reputation intact. The last that maybe they knew, he probably did have the Winter Soldier with him. So that all makes sense. And then you have Sam there looking like the guy, which, of course he looks like him because it is him too. But, it's like, he looks enough like the dude. So it's like, I could see that he would be the weak link, if anything, because it's not like Baron Zemo and, Bucky are basically actually being themselves. And in the end, I mean, that's how it turns out, right? Like, everything falls apart because of Sam.
Zemo says attack, and Winter Soldier attacks, but when Sam has to kind of do his part, it screws up.
Yeah, exactly. He's not that guy, and so it's like, it is what it is. Jay, what's the other moment that you had that you were like,
the cold-blooded murder?
Say what?
The murder, when Zemo murdered the scientist that recreated the super soldier serum.
Oh, Why did you like that so much?
One, because it puts a limit on the number of super soldier serum that can be made. I would not want that to just be out there.
Right.
Like from a story's perspective and in world, it's not good.
Right.
So getting rid of him is the right thing to do.
Which is exactly what Zemo was thinking at that moment.
Yeah.
Like nobody, I don't know why those guys were shocked that he did that. Like I saw it coming.
Well, I don't think Bucky was shocked.
Yeah, it's interesting too because it's like that whole narrative of that guy and how it is that he was able to like crack the serum was all very interesting. You know, like I felt like because I was wondering how they were going to pull this off. It pretty much made sense that it's like okay, once they introduce
Isaiah
Elijah Bradley. Yeah, once they introduce Elijah Bradley, you're like, okay, so that's a good second source to get super soldier serum. Like I get that. But I'm like, well, if they had that all that time, like why isn't the world like filled with super soldiers? And when they were like, oh, hey, I made the breakthrough and then I got snapped away, it's like, oh, like that makes sense. And it's like if everybody else is like, okay, can't make heads or tails of this. Plus we got more important stuff to do, and they break it all down. He comes back and he's like, listen, I figured this thing out. I want to make it. If you'll fund me, we can do this. It's like that makes so much sense. And I'm like, wow, like that's a really clever way to like make that all happen.
Here's my problem with that.
Okay. Okay.
No, I like
the basic. No. Go ahead, Oz.
I like that they're presenting this character and the history and what this man was put through in the 50s. Hey, that's fine. I'm great with that.
Which man?
And Isaiah. Elijah or Isaiah?
Oh, wait a minute.
Just
Bradley. Truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It's Isaiah.
I think he was Captain America in that book, right? I think the book was just named Truth.
I mean, the book is called Truth.
Whatever. That
wasn't officially Captain America, I don't think, but you know.
No.
Well, yeah.
He was
that guy. Look,
you can't be Captain America. Like,
yeah, America.
True. That look, true. Okay, you speaking truth. I'm glad they did all that, and I want to see his son. You know, be what is he, Patriot or whatever?
Yes.
Like that story wise, they said that this guy recreated it from his blood, but didn't Hydra at one point have the Winter Soldier, who is a super soldier? Like, wouldn't his blood be just as stable as original Captain America, Steve Rogers? I don't know why I forgot Steve Rogers.
No, it's a different formula.
Yeah, it is a different formula.
I guess the knockoff Russian brand.
It's still stable. I mean, Bucky right now is, I guess I can't say on par with Captain America because I guess he didn't get the Vita rays that make you all buff, but I mean, he's a super soldier, right?
I mean, he's a super soldier too.
Do you think Truth is more super soldiery?
Yeah, that's why he beat him.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it boils down to, where it's just like, hey, apparently you can't compare it to that serum. That's grade A, top tier stuff, and that's why everybody wants that.
Gotcha, America.
Even
when we're putting people down, we're still bringing them up.
But yeah, so going back to what you were saying, Oz, basically the episode ends with a member of the Dora Milaje showing up, and which is an interesting wrinkle because it's like obviously they want Zemo because Zemo killed the king. You know what I'm saying? They Bucky is their people now. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like honorary Wakandan. So I'm sure they're gonna be like, you know what we need? You need to hand this guy over to us. And if he's like, I can't do that, it's like, what happens next in that regard? And then the other part of it that makes this an interesting wrinkle too is from a time like what is this gonna mean? Like, what are they gonna do in regards to Black Panther? In regards to T'Challa? Oh, are they gonna acknowledge anything as far as like? Are they gonna? I guess I won't say pretend, but
Well,
is
we don't know.
story-wise going to be alive and in Wakanda, or is this going to be the beginning of us hearing something about the idea that maybe he's not there anymore?
I think T'Chaka's going to be dead at the beginning of Black Panther 2. And they might even like do the CGI thing, and he dies in battle or something like that. And, heroic death.
Yeah.
Speaking to the first wrinkle, though, that should be easy. Like if Bucky tells him, like, "Hey, we just need this guy to help us stop random super soldiers from showing up, and then you can have him."
Mm-hmm.
They should be cool with that. Like, if anything, I would expect Falcon.
Well, I mean, Falcon probably won't have any issue. Like, I feel like Falcon is the one that you've been trying to get rid of Zemo,
right?
But I guess here's my thing, though. I feel what you're saying, and I think you'd be right if Bucky had like reached out to them first and been like, "Hey, just want you to know, I got this dude. I need him for this, but as soon as we're done, we'll be heading right to you next." You know what I'm saying? That'd be one thing. But because he didn't even like reach out or anything, I would think that it might be like a little questionable, where it's like, why did I have to find out that this dude was out for myself? Because like
for that to happen, that would have had to have been the plan from the start. But Bucky's just thinking, "Well, use him, and then I'll put him back in jail where he was." So there wouldn't be any reason to reach out to them. But if he's like, "Hey, I was just going to throw him back in jail, but you guys can have him after we get this done," shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Hey, I guess that's
might
fair.
even help.
I could definitely see the Wakandans having like feeling a way about it, where they're like, "Oh, he had this dude out in the open and he didn't even tell us. He didn't even give us the option." It's like he's walking around with that shiny new arm we gave him. He didn't even send us a text. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, "Hey, just FYI, got Zemo."
I don't think Bucky had any plan to put Zemo back in prison.
Oh, you think he was going to kill him?
No. I think he understood that if Zemo was going to help him, he would want to be free. And I think that was going to be part of the deal. And when Zemo got away, after they did whatever they were planning to do, Bucky would have been the one telling Falcon, "Hey, just let him go. If he fucks up, if he screws up again, we'll get him."
No, I definitely see. Even if that was what Zemo thought, I'm pretty sure Bucky would just double cross him. Like, "Yeah, you helped us. Now you're going back to jail."
See, you say that, but Zemo's on Bucky's list of people he's wrong.
Is he?
He's on that list. I thought he was. I don't know. Probably have to look that up. I'm pretty sure I saw Zemo.
See, but
that's an interesting question. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Look that up real quick, because that's what I thought. And as far as the Wakandans showing up at the end of this episode, like, "Hey, you got somebody we want," I think best case scenario, if Bucky can convince them that we need this dude to stop this bad thing from happening, then the person that showed up joins them as well. I'm gonna stick with him when he's done. The second he's done, I'm taking him. But I think it's gonna be more of because Bucky's not a very good diplomat, so I think he's just gonna say, "Look, we need him right now. You can't have him." And the Wakandans saying, "Well, we're gonna take him," and conflict ensues.
Right.
I don't think he has enough goodwill as the White Wolf to separate a dude that committed regicide.
I looked up the list. Zemo is on it, but that's not a list of people that Bucky has wronged. That the list he's on is the list of people that he's going after. He has two different lists. One with the people he's wronged, which the Chinese guy is on that list, and the people that he's going after. Like, remember in the first episode, he set up that he got that senator arrested because she was a hydropon. Zemo was on that list, like the one, like people he's taking out.
So that you're considering, because he didn't kill that senator, so
no, he got arrested.
If Zemo's already in prison, but he's not crossed off that list, then he's going to be taken to the Wakandans to to answer for his crimes to them.
Yeah, possibly. But
either way, he's either going back to jail or going to the Wakandans. Bucky's not letting him go.
well, I guess we'll have to keep watching to find out.
I mean, we should get a clue the next episode, right? Because that was the very end. Was the encounter with Wakandan?
Yeah, I agree. So, Jay, what would you rate this episode or episode 3 of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. Like, I really love being introduced to new music.
That's fair. That's what's real. Oz, what would you rate The Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 3?
I think 4.5
Mm-hmm.
is a good number. It would be 5, but I had questions. Even though talking with you guys about some of the questions I had kind of makes a little bit more sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 4.5 sounds good.
Yeah, I agree with you all. 4.5 sounds great. Like it's exciting, and it's like I just like the potential conflict all around. Like, you know, I'm interested to see where everybody ends up and how it all like kind of shakes out. It would be really cool to see a number of the characters that have been featured in this show so far get the opportunity to you know, breathe more and explore where it is that they're going. So yeah, man, it's good. It's a fun show. It's great to watch, man. It's like, yeah, and it's like I'm happy that we have it, especially since Black Widow got pushed back again. So, or got pushed back, I should say. Not when I say again, I'm not talking about like further back than it already got pushed in. Was that June or July? I don't even remember now. So thanks for hanging out with us once again for this Fantastic Forum one-shot, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier special. We appreciate you. Make sure that you go ahead, subscribe if you're not already, hit the bell notification if you haven't done that either, and make sure that you come and check us out every Wednesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time for Fantastic Forum, because we'd love to have you come watch our show and interact with us. Tell us what it is you think about what we're talking about. And yeah, it'll be good. You'll enjoy it just as much as you enjoy these, if not more. So we will catch you then. And thanks.